I am Mutsinzi Emmanuel, and I'm privileged to be the host of this space today once again. Beyond the resume, probably you could be asking why this the name for this podcast. Well, we are looking at what else can you bring to the table apart from what is already on your CV. Usually the CV is like the ticket into the interview, but when you get there, what extra skill sets can you present? What extra attributes about yourself can put you on the table and make you stand out from all the other candidates? You probably don't know how many people have been interviewed that day. So what else can make you stand out? And that's why we bring to you Beyond the Resume. I am privileged to be hosting this. I am, as I said, Emmanuel, an HR consultant in the recruitment industry with Aldelia, but also an AI integration workspace specialist. And I'm privileged to be hosting experienced personnel on this platform, people who have been in it, who have been through it, and who have been for it. And today I am privileged to have someone amazing in the house today, someone that I've been looking up to. I've just let her know that I've been following her discreetly on LinkedIn with amazing words of wisdom and posts that she keeps sharing, but also an acquaintance in the Human Resource Association and the Human Resource Fund House, which I have been privileged to be part of and get to share and in this great source of knowledge and wealth of knowledge that this amazing team has. So we are going to get an opportunity to get to know our guest for today. We are going to know her name, a little bit about what she does, what motivates her, what pushes her. And of course, we'll be able to usher in our subject of the day. So do not touch your dial. Ladies and gentlemen, put a hand of applause for Madam Stellah. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I'm really humbled to be invited by you to share same space.
Yes.
I'm Stellah Mbekeka, an HR professional and a certified etiquette consultant. I'm also very, very passionate about mentoring, especially ladies, because oftentimes people think that what men do, women can't. And being part of Girls for Girls, we would like to inspire so many ladies to step up and take up leadership roles. And in the HR fraternity, I've served on the governing council 2 terms.
Wow.
A lover of fun. That's why I subscribe to the Human Resource Fund House.
Yeah,
You know, so people ask, who takes care of HR? Who is the HR for HR? So for us, HR, we take care of ourselves. That's why we subscribe to the Human Resource Fund House. To also offload and have that time for ourselves. Be happy, be vibrant, and also showcase the other talents we have that the world may not know. People know us for firing and hiring and strategy and all that. So the other side, we also go out of our comfort zone and, you know, we put out our talent out there. So I've been privileged to work for both private and NGO parastatals for the last, I think, 14 years.
Wow.
So I'm privileged to share a space with you, and I pray that our conversation touches a soul, blesses a soul, and uplifts someone out there. So I'm happy.
We are glad to really have you here.
Thank
Maybe
you.
2 questions before we unveil our topic or our theme for the day. One is, you mentioned being a certified etiquette consultant. What does that employ? What does that what is that, you know, if you don't mind sharing with us?
Okay, etiquette is, I would in simple terms say, it's about manners, how we should present ourselves in social settings, in our private spaces. So the decorum, the good manners, the way you treat others, it's a summation of etiquette. I've been privileged to work with all ages, and I find that some people are not refined enough. You find a well-dressed gentleman putting on a black belt with brown shoes. That's a ton of people who appreciate etiquette.
Jesus, I thank God I didn't put on brown shoes today, otherwise it was going to be disaster.
So simple things. We are invited in spaces, and you find people cannot even use the simple cutlery that is provided for or they cannot differentiate what meal belongs to them or what cutlery belongs to them. Those simple things. So when people watch from a distance, they'll say, I think something is missing in this person. The way people write emails, the way people respond to emails, the way people treat others in corridors. That's all etiquette. Yes, so that manners that are appreciated in social spaces. That's
amazing. I even didn't know you could get certified in this kind of thing. And most of what you've shared, I really resonate with it. Now, where I say, cutlery, it is where many of us get lost. We've seen those English videos. Man, there's this small fork, this bigger fork, this knife should be on this. There we get lost completely. But it's amazing to know that there are people who are up there to train us in this kind of direction. And you know, one of the reasons I really inspired by what you do is pushing that agenda forward. You know, how young people should present themselves, or professionals should present themselves. And I'm glad to have you on the space today. So, which brings us to our theme for the day. I felt this also would resonate a little bit with what you do. And when I was looking through who can share a little bit more into this insight or this theme, and your name kept popping up to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, our theme for the day is dressed for success. The power of personal presentation in your career. I have a friend who wrote a book. It's called Mind Your Image. And it has taken her across the world, where she has been talking about minding your image from the outside, but also on the inside. So when I shared with you this topic, what's the first thing that came to your mind?
The first thing that came to my mind was executive presence. I've seen very many brilliant people with a lot of content, technically competent, but they are second guessed by the people they speak to or associate with. And why? Because they miss out on how they present themselves. So I always live by normally two quotes about presentation. Dress how you want to be addressed.
Wow.
So if you want to be addressed a certain way, dress the part. That's why you go to functions, you find that maybe the guest of honor, if they didn't think about what they are going to put on, they will be asked, where is your invitation? And this sharp man, gentleman or lady who has dressed sharply will be taken to the front, perhaps thinking is the guest of honor, because they thought about what they are going to put on or how they want to present themselves. And two, dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Oh, wow.
So if you think about the job you want, you dress a little notch higher.
Okay.
If I want to become a CEO, I'll dress the part. I'll not think about my current role, but I'll think about the job I want to assume. For instance, CEOs are ever in meetings, high profile meetings. You wouldn't expect a CEO to go into spaces like that in ripped jeans. Definitely not.
I've had some people be chased from interviews because they came in jeans.
Exactly.
Which was a little
So ridiculous. You can't even travel first class.
Yes. Wow.
Yes, you can't travel first class on a plane wearing a certain way.
Okay.
So it communicates how presentation can send you out of certain spaces. So if you've elevated yourself to be even traveling first class, it means you've traversed so many things to reach there.
Yes.
So you have to dress the part.
Definitely.
Yes. So for you to have that executive presence, for people to listen, actually statistics say that people will gauge what you're going to communicate based on your appearance. So people will disengage based on how you look.
Yeah, you're dressed.
So you're judged, now this one in this kind of attire, what is he or she going to tell us really? So you wouldn't want people to have such a perception about you based on how you look.
And I feel that has answered our first question, which is how does personal presentation, including attire and grooming, influence the first impressions in interviews and professional settings? Apart from interviews, you know, young people are nowadays catching up to the importance of networks, network events, and they want to be there, but unfortunately, most of the networking events are circular, you know, music shows and whatever. But what effect does this presentation have in professional spaces and social networks? How does someone prepare in that direction?
I'll first speak to the people that are joining to the corporate space. Let's start even at the interview space. Oftentimes, if you've not dressed the part, you will lose your confidence. So by the time they start actually asking you the questions, you will start gauging yourself on how you look or your appearance. And if you have sometimes people are less privileged because all the participants will sit in the same room. So when you look at other people and how they presented themselves, you feel intimidated from how they look. But if you feel that, okay, before I go in there, at least I'm sure I'm looking presentable. And sometimes we confuse presentable with expense. Some people think that for you to look classy, you must put on designer clothes. Yeah, the Calvin Klein, the Gucci's and all that. No, you just need to know what fits you, what specific cuts to what length, what texture, what colors speak into that space.
Yes.
You find that some ladies will come with revealing clothes, or their parts of their bodies are out. They have lots of piercings.
For professional engagement.
For professional engagement. So people, you don't want people to start judging you when you just enter. Let them at least judge you beyond how you look. Yeah. People do not even think about, for instance, people are very mindful about colors. You wouldn't be going to a space where some colors are not permissible, and for you that's the color you're selecting to go to meet that particular person or that audience. It means that you're going to be judged based on that color before you even present. So that is all etiquette.
It's amazing.
Etiquette is about respecting others. For example, we have political parties. You know, this particular political party adores this particular color. Why would you dress a certain way when you're going to meet people of that affiliation? So you're not respecting that
you might
particular...
end up being lynched.
Exactly. So, so some things, you have to be mindful. But when we go into the professional spaces, the corporate spaces, you should have a closet that is not so extravagant. Have a few pieces of items that are speaking to your brand, what you want to co-create as a personal brand, but also what is speaking to your industry. For instance, if you're working for public service, they already put their guidelines out there. This length, these colors, respect that. Then you'll be welcome in that particular space.
And sharing in that direction, I'm drawn to the image of a gentleman I know quite well. He's a public speaker. Now, I know the car he normally drives, which is a smaller S-Series Mercedes-Benz. But the day I saw him come into a public address, which he was headlining, he came in a TX, right? He had police escort. And he had on an amazing suit. But that alone, even before he spoke, there was already this adoration and admiration from the people he had come to talk to. I mean, for me, I thought I would get this much insight in the speech he gave. But just the way he presented himself, I already had an entire speech. He didn't speak much because he wanted that to be a program for people to join in. But when you share what you've just shared, it makes a whole lot of sense. How the first perception is really important, and the courage that it actually equips someone. Now, what are some of the common mistakes the job seekers out there are making when they are dressing up for interviews? And how can a young person out there, or someone who is still on the job market, even if they're not on the job market really, how can they avoid making those same mistakes? Okay.
When we stick to dressing, one, I'm sharing out of experience. On the side of the gents, I started with the belt and the shoes. You mismatch. So somebody who knows fashion or who is very keen, they'll look at you as a disorganized person. People come to interviews with very, very bright colored outfits. You wouldn't want to take away the attention of the panel from what you're going to say to what you're putting on. So subtle colors are always advisable to wear during interviews, because
so no need for a tuxedo in an interview. Okay. Makes
Definitely.
sense.
So you wouldn't want to take away the attention from what the content you're going to pour out to what you're putting on. 2 is a deodorant is, I think, like 10K. Some people really smell not so nice.
Yes.
So that part of the grooming, some gentlemen miss out. And I always tell people, you will leave a mark if you smell good. For me, one thing I put on my budget in a year is a perfume.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, you must have a signature for yourself. Let people know that Emmanuel is this signature. In Luganda we say Simba Wakati.
You know, when you say a signature, there are these scents people are buying on the streets.
Yes.
Is that what you mean by having? Okay, please clarify a little bit.
So when we talk about a signature scent, it has to be subtle, but you should be appealing to the people you interact with.
Yes.
Let not people say, who has passed here?
Yes.
You go to maybe the areas of convenience and you're like, who has been in this space? But there are people you walk by or you enter an elevator and you're like, wow. Or you're like wowed in a positive way.
Yes.
And they're really smelling so nice. And it doesn't mean that good perfumes or deodorants are very expensive. Just test out so many things and find your signature
and keep to that.
So that people know that this signature is Emmanuel, becomes your brand. Because branding is consistency. It's consistency.
Amazing.
It's consistency. So even your appearance, let people say that I'll never meet Emmanuel with a bad hair day. Let people know you for that. That Emmanuel, you can talk about anything else, but not hair. Anything else, but not bad shoes. Have that signature and be known for something.
Our president for the fun house, I think he's also motivating me in this direction.
Exactly. So he's very intentional about his appearance because you are credited based on how you appear.
Yes.
Just imagine a president who is, I don't know, who doesn't think about. So I think he's very intentional and mindful about his image because you can't create a first impression twice.
True.
You have one chance to make an impression. So if you lose it, it will take you ages for you to explain to people that
to rebuild that. Yes.
So I was still speaking about the gentlemen.
Gentlemen, we are in trouble today. We are in
very
trouble.
I've seen gentlemen come to interviews in their wedding, perhaps shirts or suits. Those are very bright colors. So you wouldn't want to distract the panel from you to
what you're dressed.
Exactly. And also, I think oftentimes they carry a lot of things. You want to come nicely dressed, but you're carrying a backpack, you have a jacket, you have phones, notebook. So you're looking messy already. So people look at a disorganized fella.
You want to look serious, but you've overdone it. Then
exactly.
You become confused in the process. As you are trying to put things on the table, one thing falls, you lose all the confidence.
So carrying like your entire house to the
Please don't carry your entire house. Leave some things at home.
Yeah. Just come with the things that are required for that space. Even if I've seen people who travel, like from far places to come to interviews, ask the reception to support you keep your luggage.
Some of the luggage,
and you go into the space clean and well put.
Go lighter.
Go lighter. Exactly. Yes. Go lighter. But for gentlemen, oh God, you carry a lot. You carry your house. I
thought it was the ladies who carry a lot.
For us, our problems are a bit different.
Yes. Been told a lady's bag has a flat iron inside, has a TV, half of a mattress in case you know. But also gentlemen out there, I think this is a wake-up call for us. There are those things you keep thinking that, oh, this is essential, and then you're carrying this, you're carrying that. And before you know it, it's a point of distraction. Right now, what we want to do is take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back immediately after this small break. back, welcome back. You are still watching Beyond the Resume, and I am privileged once again to be hosting Stellah. The second name disorganizes me there.
Mbekeka.
Mbekeka. Yes, amazing, amazing. Someone that I definitely appreciate for the etiquette course that she is leading young people into and the people that she influences. And today we are definitely discussing once again Dressed for Success, the power of personal presentation in your career. So we've been talking a little bit about the different things to look out for when you are presenting, when you are preparing to present yourself. We have looked at how you can prepare yourself, the colors, and which I want to also dive into a little bit more. How can someone have the balance between authenticity and self-expression while still adhering to workplace dress code and expectations? If we could start from there.
Okay. Sometimes people think that corporate spaces call for dull colors. Not that, but I think it calls out for what your brand stands for. How do you want to project yourself?
Yes.
And how do you want to be remembered? Yeah. So you can do a mix and match. Of course, a lighter color with a dark color to settle the look.
Yes.
And presentation, I always tell people, look out for the fitting. I've seen, I don't know, maybe it's fashion and trendy, where gentlemen put on very, very, very
slim tight,
skin tight
jeans
pants.
And yes.
So you lose that comfort, you know. Even when you want to turn a bit, you feel as if you're having something pressing your back, so you will not feel comfortable. And another thing is about ladies. Sometimes we overdo colors. From the makeup, you have too much lipstick, your earrings are exaggerated, you're putting on very, very bright colors. Sometimes, depending on the event, you have also to read the room. I've seen people being given themes, and they come wearing totally different colors, and you have to stick to the theme. That's how people are going to start respecting you. Because just imagine you're into a workspace and they've said maybe the theme color for event is old school, and you come to office suited up. So everybody will be like,
what's up with this one?
What's up with this one? So people will start doubting your comprehension of communication via such things.
That is deep. Comprehension of communication.
Yes.
You did not understand the communication. Either you are rebellious, or you didn't understand, or you have no idea what is going on.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's also etiquette. So you have to read through and understand, okay, in my space, what is permissible and what's not. What's permissible in this workspace may not be permissible in another space. So you have to understand what your industry calls for. But to be on a safer side, dull colors or subtle colors always pass. So invest in a few items, but of quality.
Yes.
We ladies, we have a problem. I always tell ladies in my classes that we buy rubbish. You'll find a lady or a woman taking the entire room full of her clothes, shoes, and bags. But if they told her that in the evening we're having dinner, she will power the entire wardrobe and find nothing because we buy rubbish.
Hey.
Yeah, we buy rubbish.
We buy rubbish.
Yes, we buy rubbish.
That is alarming.
You want to have one bag in 5 colors. You want to have the same shoe in 3 colors. You want to have 1 million sandals. When are you going to wear these? And what kind of statement are you going to make? I think it's Coco Chanel that states that dress well and they'll remember the person. Then dress shabbily, they'll remember the dress. So you wouldn't want people to remember that your jacket was torn or it was not pressed because you missed out
you're
on
the guy with a torn jacket.
Yes,
Yes.
Now I remember
Or when you
him.
pop up in conversations, they're like, that guy with
that one.
came in a yellow.
Thank you. So you wouldn't want to be described that way.
Yes.
So for ladies, I always tell them, don't buy too much rubbish. If actually you collected your entire wardrobe, you could have about 10 pieces, unique and standing out statement attires, instead of having a million that you're not actually going to wear. Some of the things we buy and we don't even put on, but they cost us money.
Yes. I have a challenge. I feel we have, in the information era and information stage where we are, we have so much information, but people are not utilizing that information availability to strategically decide what information I am going to take up. So where are you getting all this information? Because, I mean, if you talk about dress code, for me now I'm worried. I'm like, did I also buy rubbish? I need to go back and sort through myself. Where can I get this information to educate myself about, okay, this in such an event, this is the kind of dress code I need to have. This is how subtle I can be in this kind of environment. Or now this is when I can have these colors. And I mean, the other day we had happy colors.
Happy colors.
You know?
And I'm happy I was one of the people that
Well,
aligned to the theme.
Yes. So share with, I mean, this is not one of the questions, but I feel we have access to information, but we don't know how to evaluate and choose what information is necessary.
I think we have to be a bit intentional. It speaks into the personal brand, depending on how you want to position yourself. For instance, for me, when you look at my socials, or especially my LinkedIn postings, I'm very intentional on what I post and what topics I want to tackle. Same applies to what kind of information you want to tap into. For me, I always tell people, if you're inspired by an individual, you may not speak to them directly, but follow them. Follow their socials.
Yes.
See what kind of information they are sharing. You can even DM them. Some people are very, for me, I don't know the DMs I get. People asking me, Stellah, where can I get this? And especially in our fraternity, the HR fraternity, somebody will tell you, Stellah, I have a strategic meeting. Where can I get a suit that speaks into that kind of space? Because I know I do branding and I shop for people. Yes. I know where to get what.
Oh, wow.
So also be in spaces where people that inspire you hang out.
I mean, that's why I joined the HR fan house. I mean, you all are there moving mountains.
So be in spaces where people that inspire you are. But also, if you wouldn't want to be, let me say, in a corporate world, but all the friends you have work in a certain space.
Industry, yes.
I wouldn't want to put down any career. But if, for example, if I want to be inspired by somebody who maybe works in media, I have to be looking out, how do media people dress? Let me look out for that particular industry and how the influencers, sometimes actually we are confused by numbers. We tend to think that because somebody has the numbers, they think that they inspire people.
Yes.
We are in a generation where I think certain kind of content appeals to people. But for how long is the question for me I pose to people that, okay, you may have the vibe between your 20s and early 30s. Yes. But how do you want to project yourself or present yourself beyond 30? Beyond 30. If I left...
And there's this whole history behind you.
And I always tell people, even for socials, what you don't want for people to see, never post it anywhere. I was telling people that when we post on Facebook, it tells us that it's 24 hours. But I've seen Facebook sending me memories of 10 years. Yes. Then and now. 10 years. It means what I shared 10 years, if I'm not proud of it, it's still in the database. So if I'm not proud of it, I shouldn't have. It's going to pop up someday. And it's going to be open to the public. So look out for people that inspire you. Check out, I always tell people that the nicest things are not trendy. You don't follow trends. True. So if you want to follow trends, you're going to lose money, but you're also going to lose credibility because some trends will not be appealing to your brand.
True.
So, but if you're so much into trends, you're going to say, I have to buy it.
Yeah.
But if you're just sticking to what appeals to your brand, some trends will pass by you. They'll
I
pass
think this
by.
is also the right time to just send a reminder to the young people that not every influencer is an influencer, like you said.
Yes.
And what kind of influence are they influencing, right? Probably if you want to take their line of work, you know, but also it's a wake-up call for us to ask ourselves, what is this person influencing? Is this the influence I want to be, what should I say? To be influenced? And to me, English wants to run away. But is this what I want to emulate? Is this what I want to also learn and engage in? So maybe if you add your voice on that, it's a call for the young people out there, most especially in the etiquette space.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what you represent eventually will represent the opportunities that come your way.
Yeah, and you're an HR professional like myself. For certain positions, we've shifted away from the look and feel of a CV. We want also to tap into your personal life. If I went into your Instagram, if I went into your Facebook or your LinkedIn, what is it saying? I always tell people in my classes, put your name in Google. What does Google say about you? Are you proud of what Google is talking about you? Either it will be so little or something you're not really proud of.
Yes.
If you feel that you're not very proud of what Google is talking about you, because that's what you're selling to the world, go back and revamp yourself.
Wow.
Because before people meet you, they are meeting you virtually.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now that brings us to another very important question, which is, there is a lot of the growth of remote work nowadays, and how is it important how important is physical presentation for virtual meetings? I mean, I saw people who were meeting
during COVID.
Yes, someone has a suit down there in their shorts, and yes, how is it important for their physical presentation to be in tip-top shape, and what tips can help professionals maintain a polished look even on screen and the virtual setting?
I always tell people, even make it a routine even if you're working from home, let your family know your working time. If, for example, my office opens from 8 to 5, have a personal space at your home that is designated to be your office.
Yes.
It may be a funny place, but let people know that once Stellah sits in that place,
serious time.
Serious time. That's why you will find people, if you do not designate the place, you'll find your kids, you're on a call, kids are passing, your wife in a
having a CNN interview and the kid is
somebody is coming from the bathroom because you
Yes.
didn't designate a particular place to be your workspace.
True.
And for me, why I tell people dress well even at home, you do not know when you're going to be called out. You're on a Zoom call, and they'll say that, okay, time for taking maybe a picture, a group picture, or Stellah, put on your video. Yeah, would like to connect the voice to the face.
Hey.
You didn't comb your hair, you're still in your
vest.
pajamas, you've not brushed because you
Yes.
just jumped out of bed at 8 and picked up your laptop.
Yes.
So you have to take this seriously. If it's a job, just know that, okay, it's just the dynamics that are different. I'm just working from home, but I'm equally a professional.
Yes.
If I'm called out, I feel blessed to show my
Yes.
face.
In my head, there are scenarios that are playing. I'm drawn back to that time where people would fail to realize that their camera is on in a meeting.
They are eating,
And they are
sipping, they are banging things in the kitchen,
Yes.
they are mixed. Yes.
And the entire meeting is seeing them.
And by the people just start laughing.
Quiet.
Even this one,
Yes.
actually, you're going to bring out things that you wouldn't even want people to know about you.
I remember calling someone. We had a class, and I think she joined the class. Her camera was on, and she was going to the bathroom. So, and for a reason, everyone was quiet, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to interrupt the meeting. Like, I called her director that her network goes off, and then tell her, Bananki, you are going to the bathroom. Everyone is watching, you know. So imagine you've not prepared. You think, you know, even if it's just an audio call, you think no one is watching and everyone is watching you. And then the deal refuses because you failed a KPI right there.
And by the way, some people are funny, whereas you're going through that, it's unprepared for, but somebody may record. And before you know it, you piss off Emmanuel and they have your recording.
Blackmail.
Blackmail starts.
I should post this.
I should post this. So you have to be very, very, very careful.
True.
People who are working virtually, your mics, your videos, make sure that if it means leaving your home, if you have distractions, leave your house, go in a place that is going to keep you checked.
Yes.
And you have to be intentional. Sometimes we think that working from home means I'm going to stay in my bed, put my legs up in the sofa.
You know,
and
chill time.
Chill time as I'm grabbing my
snack,
watching TV, then I am typing. You even lose your concentration.
Yes.
So if you want to be productive, you have to give yourself a space that is going to make you productive. But also even people at home to take you serious. I have a friend, he used to have Zoom. He works from home. He has been working from home over time. So the son always says that, I always see you with people on call, just having conversations.
Yes.
So, but they know that once he sits in a particular place, whether he's going to have conversations, whatever they call, because serious, and we don't interrupt. So be serious, and let the people that stay around you know that, okay, this is my space. Wake up, normal routine. Go shower, dress up properly. You may not dress up like in a suit or something, but dress up nicely. Be presentable. Be presentable. Sometimes men have always complained about women wearing, they're called diras.
Yes.
You put on your, how is it called? This thing on the head. And
that weird looking thing. We call it weird looking.
The bonnet.
Yes.
So ladies put on a bonnet with a diras. So somebody looks at it and they're like,
what is going on?
What is going on, really?
Yes.
Amongst all the clothes you have in this house.
But you're also not valuing us who are in a meeting with you.
Exactly.
Yes. You
didn't put in effort. Honestly, if that's the presentation bit we are talking about. If you want to be perceived a certain way, put in effort. Otherwise, people will always refer to you as the other disorganized person who always bangs things in the call, during the call, who comes unprepared, is combing the hair.
Keeps going down and down and down.
Yeah.
Amazing. As we come to the wrap of this, many people are some people have come to the realization, okay, let me look smart, let me do my hair. I mean, it's an interview, you have to make an impression. But they forget things like body posture.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So beyond clothing, what role does body posture, body language, and overall confidence play in making a strong professional impression?
I'll start with the last one, the confidence bit. You've been in meetings where the outspoken people are always given an opportunity and they are promoted. Most, because
even when you have more knowledge than them.
Even when you have more knowledge than them. So people wonder why the lousy guys are the ones that are being promoted. They are very strategic. They will speak up. They are confident, so they will speak up. Whether their answer is right or wrong, they will still put it across. But when we go back to posture, I think personally I'm trained that I'll always sit at 90. Yes. I'll never slouch in a chair. I'll never.
So am I slouching here? Hey, 90. we are learning as well. I'm also learning, so up to 90.
So yes, you have to sit at 90. One, it's for your good posture, but also for your back. If you slouch, you're putting a lot of weight on your spine.
Yes.
So you're supposed to sit at 90.
Wow.
But also, people struggle with the hands. Some people either lock them or close in or fidget. So your non-verbal cues will communicate. For us who understand communication, they will communicate a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So when people are presenting, you see people either pocket, either if they don't have anything, their hands, they will close in.
Yes.
So it means that you don't want a conversation. But we who have now kind of mastered how to play around with our gestures and we know what it means, you will always lock your hands.
So maybe if I could ask in that direction.
Yes.
this leg thing.
Yes.
I don't know if it was intentional, but I also want to ask about it. So is this right? When I am having a conversation, when can I cross my legs? When should they be down? And what is the significance of that?
Well, sometimes people think that etiquette is to harass people. Yeah. For ladies, you either cross at the ankle, like I've been all the way through. You cross at the ankle, or if your legs are open, they're supposed to be closed. Yeah. Same applies to men. If your legs are down, exactly. Yes. Because it will give you a good look. But one thing I've also noted, I've seen gentlemen who sit and they leave their jacket buttoned. So it will make you uncomfortable.
Yes.
Once you're seated, you're supposed to unbutton so that you're comfortable, but also the look is a bit different.
Elegant.
Yes.
So, and the crossed leg for the men, when can I've been told...
That is very casual.
Okay.
That is very casual. But if you want to have a more professional and respectable kind of posture, all legs down is the most
yes. I am learning as well.
Appropriate.
Yes. I mean, as we began, I was like, I am very privileged to be in the space where I have access to this wealth of knowledge. And for me, it's a learning point, sitting and getting from people with over 15 years of experience in the field. As an upcoming HR practitioner, it's an honor for me. In less than a minute, what would be your parting words, a parting shot for the person who has joined us for today's episode?
My parting shots to a lady and a gentleman out there: think about what people will say when you leave the room. If you think about what people will say when you leave the room, then you will work on yourself.
Yes.
Tips for you: smell good.
Yeah.
Please, smell good. Get a signature.
Highlight that.
Get a signature scent.
Not signature smell. Difference.
Yes, a scent. Get a signature scent. Let people know that this subtle scent is Stellah. This subtle scent is Emmanuel. 2, mind about your wardrobe. Let's stop buying rubbish.
Yes.
We buy so much that does not speak into our brand.
Yes.
Be mindful of your brand. Guard it jealously. Think about where even you buy your clothes. Yeah? If it means buying 3-4 clothes in a year, do that, but buy quality. Sometimes we buy whatever comes on the market.
20. 12.
Then you have 10 pieces which you're going to wear once and you never put on again. So invest in good pieces, but also sieve into the content you take in. Follow people that are worth following.
Yes.
If, for example, you want to learn about etiquette, follow people that are into that space. If you want to learn about personal branding, follow people that are into that space. Speak to people that are in that line.
Yes.
So be intentional about who you want to be, and then follow the people that are
information.
Exactly. But also, lastly, I think we need to be mindful about social media. Be mindful about what you post.
Yes.
Once something leaves your phone or your gadget, you will never have control over it. And for parents out there, please save us. We are tired of you coming in nightgowns to drop children.
Hey,
yes.
That's a thing as well. Hi. Okay.
Because you'll never know you'll never know who you're going to meet on the streets, or somebody who's going to stop you to say hello. Just imagine you see a friend who you would want to say hello to, but looking at yourself, you can't come out of that car. Maybe you in slippers, you're in your pajamas. Go to schools. The drop-offs at 6, people are still in their pajamas, night dresses.
You meet the president at the school, and he wants to discuss something.
Thank you.
I've seen you on LinkedIn. First come and we talk. And then you are embarrassment of the highest order. Yes.
Yes.
We really, really appreciate. And I would advise a young person out there, or anyone who has picked a leaf or a forest from what has been discussed. Please follow up Madam Rebecca, Madam Stellah on her social media. That is also on LinkedIn as well. Any other platforms apart from LinkedIn that you're on?
I normally want to impact people in a professional way.
Okay.
So either X or LinkedIn.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hit her up on her LinkedIn. Feel free to send through that connection request. And let her know that you have watched the show, the episode, and ask her those questions. I know she's a person of high etiquette, someone of integrity, and someone that I also have been looking up to discreetly, but now openly. And I am still learning a lot from her. And I'm trying to be intentional as well, the sources of information that I'm picking from.
Yeah.
But also feel free to let me know if you're out there. I have garnered a couple of years. The last 2 years have been amazing for me in diving into AI workplace integration. So if you're out there, we've had technology always the thing, but we do not know what tools to utilize in our workspaces. Feel free to hit me up on my LinkedIn as well at Emmanuel Mutsinzi. Feel free to connect with me, ask some questions. But also if you do have questions on how you can better your resume and prepare your career profile or your social media profile or your social presence, for those opportunities out there, feel free to let me know, and I would like to go beyond the resume with you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this episode. Till next time, keep it locked right here on Beyond the Resume, and goodbye from us.
Bye-bye.